moment. Being a fan, it's such a shared experience. It was for me growing up watching basketball games. That's how I connected with my dad, and it's probably how you connected to someone you love too, or maybe even to strangers, right? Cheering on the highs, covering your eyes through some of the lows in an arena, at a bar, on the couch. But in the case of Mitch Widmeier and his sister Hannah, being fans of the Knicks, it means something even more sacred. It allows Mitch to communicate with Hannah, even though she can no longer speak. At its best, right, a core tenet of fandom is love. And this is a story about love for the Knicks, beyond the Knicks, and the extent that someone will go to for the person that they love.
In a 13-by-8 room in Green Bay, Wisconsin, a die-hard Knicks fan named Mitch Widmeier gets ready to call another game.
1.
Not for a station.
Throws it up from 15 feet and he sinks it as the shot clock expires.
Not for a network.
Grant Williams drives inside contested floater and he splashes it. Brunson's starting to find a groove late in the first quarter.
But for one person, his sister, Hannah.
No hesitation, triple try, lets it fly and he sticks it, Hannah. Robinson with the theft, hard up court. Mickey Bridges reservations for two, Hannah.
I do not view it through the prism of I'm broadcasting these games. I view it through the prism of this is Hannah and I bonding.
Growing up in Dubuque, Iowa, Mitch gravitated to an unlikely NBA team.
My uncle lived in Queens. When I was 5, he started sending me boxes of apparel every few months, and it was always Knicks. Knicks hats, shirts, sweatshirts, pants, jerseys. So at age 5, I'm a New York Knicks fan.
The middle child between an older sister, Haley, and a younger one, Hannah. The three siblings, they were tight.
Hannah was the one who would always go to bat for friends. It sounds weird because I was her older brother, but I always would think, like, I wish I had her backbone.
This bond would be tested. On December 31st, 2017, just after 11 in the morning, the phone rang. 21-year-old Hannah had been in a car accident.
My older sister called me in the morning, said you need to get to the hospital. They don't know if Hannah's gonna make it. She was in a car accident. I'll never forget, when I got to the hospital, I was afraid to go in the room and see her.
Hannah suffered a traumatic brain injury. Doctors told Mitch and Haley that she would never fully recover.
They said, we can keep having Hannah fight, or we can make her more comfortable, which basically told us, like, call it off. So we said, Hannah will keep fighting. When they said, Hannah will never be the same because of this accident, you have no clue what that entails until it just slowly starts to unfold. She gets medication 6 to 7 times a day. It's like clockwork now. It's not like I'm ever forgetting anything.
After 16 months of rehab for Hannah, 25-year-old Mitch made a decision. He walked away from his job as a content creator for FanDuel Sports and relocated to Green Bay, where he could be with his sister.
Medical decisions were still being made, and she can't make them for herself. I had dreams, goals that I wanted to accomplish, but siblings, family takes priority. Banana bread. Hey. Hi. I need to get your shades on, okay? I told Haley, you're married, you have 3 kids. I'm single, I just graduated college. I'll stay with Hannah, you come visit when you want.
In February of 2024, more devastating news. Older sister Haley was diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer. 6 months later, Haley was gone.
Haley was the rock. If I ever needed to vent, if I was ever just having a bad day, needed to talk to someone outside of my friends, it was always Haley first.
They would talk every day for an hour or so. Just talk about life, talk about Hannah, talk about the kids, and Mitch lost his person.
Mitch always dreamed of becoming a play-by-play announcer calling games for the New York Knicks. In October of 2025, he began living out that dream in a room far from Madison Square Garden, with Hannah by his side.
I realized in the last 3.5 years, when Hannah and I are watching games in the living room, she's watching me more than the TV, following me as I'm pacing and yelling and screaming and getting all upset or celebrating. And so I was like, I wonder if we sit back in my office, I turn a Knicks game on, if I start announcing, and literally the season opener, it was Hannah looking at me, smiling, laughing.
Out to Clarkson. He's on a heater. Flips a flush. Only in Vegas, Hannah. Come on. Landry Shamet wants to join the three-point festivities, and it's target practice, Hannah. Crossover dribble, a fadeaway. He wants to be the hero, and he puts on the cape, Hannah.
When the game ends, he posts the clips online. And slowly, what began as something so very private became something the world couldn't stop watching.
Karl Anthony Towns from the left wing. You bet on a triple try for the big bodega, Hannah. Working on Eason, dribbling left into the paint. Reverse lay, we're tied. Come on, Hannah.
It gives him happiness and joy, and she enjoys it too. You can tell just by the look in her eyes.
If the Knicks lose tonight and we're dressed as bears for Halloween, I'm not going to be too thrilled. How about you?
When she's smiling and laughing, I know that's her way of getting joy, having fun, excitement. I do it for my sister. I do it for Hannah.
And we are so lucky to be joined now by Mitch Widmeier. Mitch, thank you so much for taking some time with us here on NBA Today.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. Mitch, I was so touched. I was so moved by the story of you and your sister, Hannah. I'm really close with my little sister. Can you just tell us a little bit about your relationship?
Yeah, that sibling bond, as you know well, Malika, it's always super, super tight. So I grew up with Hannah as my younger sister, Haley as my older sister. So I guess when things would go down in the house once in a while and someone had to get blamed, I'd be outnumbered 2-1. But we grew up very, very close, and it stayed that way throughout.
And certainly it's that way as we just saw now today. And I was watching your videos online, on TikTok. You've caught the attention of so many people, of so many fans as well. What was it that made you want to continue to share this outside of wanting your friends to be able to keep in touch?
Yeah, that was the main reason. When Hannah and I moved away from home 3.5 years ago, we had friends and family who were telling us, like, create an Instagram, create a TikTok account. We just want to keep up to date with Hannah. And I didn't really post anything on the TikTok, like, ever. And I started getting pressure, like, start posting stuff. And they were like, just do, like, the trending dances on TikTok. I was like, you're never going to catch me doing that. Like, never, ever. So
Me neither.
I just was like, when we watch games together, as I said, she's watching me more than the TV, and she just gets an immense joy out of it. And so I decided, all right, we'll start posting on your TikTok, and we just started with the regular season opener this year, and it kind of took off from there.
And you said that you had aspirations, right, to do some play-by-play, and this is a version of that. And I got to tell you, you're really talented. What does Hannah think of your calls here?
Hannah probably gets annoyed at me every once in a while, but those 2.5 hours that we spend together multiple weeks watching Knicks games, it's just a true bond we have. But yeah, a lot of people ask me in DMs and in the comments, like, about the broadcasting element of it. I went to school for radio, TV broadcasting, and my dream, my goal growing up was always to be the radio voice of the New York Knicks. So that's not why we do the videos, but it's an element of it for me that I kind of get to just scratch the itch a little bit. But if Hannah didn't enjoy it this way, we wouldn't be doing it. And this is how she gets the most joy out of having to sit and watch games with me.
Well, and the laughter that we saw from your, how animated you get. And you have a catchphrase, right? What's the catchphrase?
There's a couple of them. Well, pass the sugar is the big one.
Yeah.
So when the Knicks get that final dagger and it looks like they're going to win, we always pass the sugar. And her comments and DMs are always flooded with people just reciprocating that back to us, which is pretty cool.
Pass the sugar, target practice, right? That's another one.
Yeah, Mike Breen liked that one. Target practice when they make a three up, 3 down. We've got a few that we use, but the one that definitely is it trends in the comments is pass the sugar.
Mike Breen liked that one so much that actually in one of the third quarters of a game, it was Hawks-Knicks last time around, he used that as a bit of a homage to you and your story, and you actually spoke to him. What was that experience like?
Yeah, again, as someone who wanted to be like the radio voice of the Knicks growing up, obviously Mike being the TV side of that, growing up, Mike Breen was a fixture for me watching Knicks games. So to have him be aware of the videos, narrate the story for Hannah, and then to get a call from him a week ago was unbelievable. And he said he was going to borrow the target practice line. And so I had posted on Hannah's Instagram story, like, we have it on good authority. I didn't want to completely throw out that it was directly from Mike in case he forgot or couldn't fit it into the broadcast. But I said, we have it under good authority that Mike Breen's going to use its target practice line at some point. When he did, again, it was just a bunch of people sending me the clip, and it's unbelievable. It's one of those kind of like pinch me moments where one of your broadcasting heroes is using a line that you say in social media videos with your little sister.
Well, it's social media videos with your little sister in one sense, but I think it's also giving hope to a lot of people, Mitch, in another sense. But you got a busy day. You got another game to call coming up here in a couple of hours. The New York Knicks, they're up 2-0 on the Philadelphia 76ers. What do you think? I mean, is this the year they get it done? We see the Knicks hat.
I hope so. I'm always glass half full with the Knicks. I will say some of these margins of victories that they've had in games this postseason and the way the defense grew throughout the regular season makes me believe that this year could be different for New York. I'm hoping they take one of the next two in Philly and you go up 3-1 back to the Garden for Game 5. So that's the hope.
I mean, certainly the Knicks right now, as we were chatting about before we came on, it looks like the path is clear for them to go back to the NBA Finals for the first time since the 90s here. Mitch, I'm wondering, what is it that you hope that when people are watching you, watching Hannah, watching your story, what are you hoping that people walk away or take from your relationship and what you're trying to do here?
Just the bond that we have, that there's different ways you can bond and find happiness. Obviously Hannah's nonverbal. She's 100% dependent, but I have found throughout the years taking care of her, there are certain things that bring out her happiness. And I will say, Malika, the one part that people don't see, I get an immense amount of, I would say, happiness, joy when I get DMs from people who say, I've had a parent who had a traumatic brain injury. I have a cousin who had a traumatic brain injury. And they might say, it's not to the level of Hannah, but these videos bring me so much happiness. We have people who send us DMs of their little kids yelling, pass the sugar, Hannah, pass the sugar, Hannah. And it's just, again, if Hannah didn't get enjoyment out of this, we wouldn't be doing the videos. But the most enjoyment I get out of it, outside of seeing her smile and laugh throughout, is those personal messages you get from people that you don't even know who just can find that glimpse of joy when it's easy to doom scroll on social media. We hope for those couple minutes that we provide a video every Knicks game that they get a little bit of joy.
It's so true. It's so easy to sometimes focus on the negative things that exist in the world and how we relate to each other. But when you look hard enough, joy is what connects us all, in sports, right? Is another piece of what connects us all. And for you all, that's the New York Knicks. And Mitch, it's not just us here at ESPN that we're so very touched by your story. The New York Knicks are as well. So before we let you go, we got something for you.
What's up, Mitch and Hannah? Shalen Brunson here for the Knicks. Just wanted to say thank you for your support. Seeing your videos has been very inspiring, and your story is incredible. Just want to say thank you for always rooting for us, cheering for us. Your Knicks spirit is immaculate. So go Knicks, up all as well. See you soon.
Mitch and Hannah just got back from shoot around, getting ready for Game 3, but really wanted to send my love and say thank you so much for the content. Me and Jordan love watching your analysis and watching you guys watch the game every single game. And it brings us such joy to see how much Hannah really enjoys loving her Knicks. So really appreciate you, Mitch, doing what you do. Hannah, keep being a trooper, keep being the best in the game.
That's unbelievable. You guys got me there at the end. I wasn't expecting that.
I gotta tell you, Mitch, when I reached out to them for those videos, they already knew your story. They follow along. They watch your videos. Both Jalen and Carl said that they have been following along for the last several months. So there is a lot of people who are rooting for you, who are rooting for Hannah, and we so very much appreciate the time. We're deeply, deeply grateful.
I can't thank you guys enough. Truly, immensely, like from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for telling Hannah's story. Any spotlight she can get, she deserves it.
It is so very clear, Mitch, and you deserve that spotlight as well. So thank you, and good luck with your broadcast tonight. Go rest that voice.
Thank you, Malika.